That was quite an exhausting, but also exciting and insightful last 2 weeks when it comes to my endurance journey. So let's get into it. If you have been watching and following for the last about a month or so of my videos, you noticed that I was building up for a PR in my half marathon time. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Luke. Welcome, glad to have you here. On this channel, I'm covering everything endurance sport related, mainly my own journey and my own experiencing into this world, focusing more on triathlon because that's what I'm currently into, but also just running and cycling and swimming in general. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to stick around, make sure you hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps out a lot. And if you want to follow along, there's a subscribe button down as well. But let's start out with 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, just like the last couple of years, I took part, well, not just myself, but my family and I, we took part in the Tour de Palm Springs. The Tour de Palm Springs is a bike event which happens every year in the Coachella Valley. It is a fundraiser for charity, and this year they had over 5,000 cyclists participate in it. Due to some weather conditions, they changed the route this year last minute, so we ended up doing the 62-mile loop, which is actually the longest bike ride that I have done so far, and overall, it was very pleasant. The focus of that event is just to have a good time. It is a long training ride, a long Saturday bike ride. That's really all it is. There's no racing to it, there's no PRing to it or anything. So I really wanted to take that bike event or that training and focus on the nutrition. So for this time, I tried the Morton electrolyte and carbohydrate mix that you put in the bottles, and I will make a dedicated review about that one specifically. But this one had 80 grams of carbohydrates in one package. So you can essentially put 80 grams of carbohydrates into one water bottle. And that's what I wanted to try for the first time. I never had a water bottle that was that dense and that intense when it comes to carbohydrate amount. Usually my bottles are around 20 to 40 grams. So I wanted to try that. I only tried one and it actually went really great. Overall, I did not bonk on the bike ride whatsoever. I felt great overall, and then I finished the bike with a flat tire right at the finish line. But overall, the event was fun. I had a great time. I took Sunday off to fully recover from it. And yeah, then it meant tapering into my half marathon week. 2 years ago, when I did the Palm Desert Half Marathon for the first time, I ran a 2 hours and 9 minute half marathon time, which at that time was my first half marathon standalone. And I was very happy with that time. That was great. I felt good overall. I ran the whole way through. It was great. Last year, when I did the same one, and given it's the same course every year, I ran a 2 hour and 5 minute half marathon, which again, it was 4 minutes faster, but it was not the sub 2 hours I already won it last year. This year, I ran a 2 hours and 4 minute half marathon time. So I achieved my goal in the sense of PRing for the race, but I did not achieve the goal of going a sub 2 hours. So let's break it down. The morning of the race, everything went great. I woke up, I had coffee, I had breakfast, I had a PB&J. Then I had some electrolytes that I was sipping on the way to the race. Weather, great. It was not windy. It was sunny. Well, once the sun really got up. And the gun went off at 7 in the morning, and it was nice and cool outside, no overheating whatsoever. My race pace was like a 10:15, 10:30 minute mile. That was the goal, that was the pace that I was going to hold. But I knew if I wanted to get a sub 2 hours, I needed to hold a 9:05 to 9:10 minute mile for the whole way through. So I said, screw this. I'm just gonna go all out right from the start line. My warm-up was about non-existing. So going out at the beginning, felt a little tight, the first mile kind of awkward, but overall, I was right on pace. The first mile was a 9:05, and then the second mile, I clocked a 9:05. And I kept going, and at that point, I just told myself, hang on as long as you can, and then we're just gonna see what happens at the end. Which brings me to the fueling strategy for this race. I really wanted to fuel and make sure that I hit my nutrition goal for the race. And that was about 50 grams of carbohydrates per hour. So in the forms of gel, that is the easiest to take in on the run. There were aid stations on the way, so I did not bring a handheld water bottle. I just brought some gels. So every 30 minutes, I had a gel. And I used the Go gels from BPN, which are about 24 grams of carbohydrates. Again, there will be a review on those. So 30 minutes in, first gel. I had the first gel and let me tell you, cinnamon is not a great flavor for me personally when I'm running. Found that out with the very first gel. I was already dreading having my second, third gel. But at the time of my first gel, I was right on target for a sub 2 hour or a point on 2 hour half marathon. So I hang on and I hang on and I hang on, and I met the guy on the course. Richard is his name, and I've met him the last 2 years as well, and it's always a great time running into him on the course. And we just have this little, not a competition, but we just kind of push each other, which is really nice, and that kept me going all the way to mile about 7 or 8 when I lost him. And I had another gel, which that one was very tough to get down, but I got it down. At that point, I was still on target for a sub 2 hour marathon. And then it all kind of came down. By the time I hit mile 10 and a half, maybe about 11, I was toast. I was absolute toast. I could slowly feel pain coming in. I knew I had a huge blister on my foot that I could feel. My knee started bothering me a little bit, and overall the tank started to feel pretty darn empty. I had not walked at this point. I was still running, but my mile pace dropped to a 30-minute mile by the time I hit about mile 11. And at that point, you're close to the finish line. You're just kind of running past it on an out and back, and then you're making your way to the finish line. I looked at my watch and I saw that the 2 hour mark, it was gone. I hit mile 11 and a half, maybe 12, and the 2 hours, it was gone. At this point, my only hope was, if I can hit a 2 hour and 4 minutes, I will at least PR. So I dug deep. I had another gel at about 90 minutes. And that gel, it went actually the best because it was right at the aid station. So I swooshed the gel down with the water. But overall, at the end, the tank was empty. Then I just pushed through, crossed the finish line with 2 hours and 4 minutes and some change, which led to a PR, which is great. And I had a 9-minute, 25-second average minute mile for the whole duration. But wow, that was one tough race. I fell short of my initial goal, but I did learn a lot. I, for the first time, consumed 50 grams of carbohydrates in the first hour. I've never consumed that much in a running portion of any kind of event, a 70.3 or a half marathon. That was great. My stomach handled it great. It was just the flavor that wasn't sitting with me. And then at the end, I pushed it too much. My legs were not ready to run this quick. For me, that is very quick. To run that quick for that long. And then at mile 10 and a half, they were just done. The tank was empty. There was nothing more. So even if I would have consumed more carbs, I don't think that would have made that much of a difference. And judging by how sore not only my muscles, but also my joints, my knee really bothered me last week, and I still feel it. Judging by that, there was really not much more in the tank. That was it. And so I'll take it. I'm happy with it. It went great. And now I'll take all of this, what I learned from the bike, 80 grams of carbohydrates in the bottle, 50 grams of carbohydrates on the run. I'm going to take that into Oceanside, which is on April 6th, and we'll see what I can do there. Maybe I can PR on Oceanside. My PR on Oceanside is 5 hours and 58 minutes on that course. That was 2 years ago. We'll see how that goes. But that is it. It was great. I'm glad it's done. There's a couple more other things I have in my mind that I want to achieve this year and potentially achieve before mid-year. But that is it. I learned a lot. I heard a lot. I'm very happy that there was nothing else in the tank. Fully emptied it. So overall, it was a success. So we'll keep training. I had 1 week of fairly easy training. I did a couple of swims, did a couple bikes, did some walks, and today the first run, which was very easy, 11 30-minute mile for 30 minutes. I heard a lot, so I'm still not quite there. So we'll see how next week goes, but that's it. Thank you so much. If this was interesting, if you just want to follow along, if you have any questions, let me know. If there's any way I can help, I'm more than happy to answer any questions and give my experience on when it comes to nutrition or to training for endurance or any of your goals. So let me know, and have a good one.